around and things don't quite flow the way you want them to because you're rushing around. So, in any case, it's 10:01. Let's give it maybe another minute and a half for everybody to join in. Okay. Thanks so much for joining me this morning. Thank you. Well, good morning to all of those of you out there in meditation land. Welcome this morning, 10:02, and what is that? Oh, February 1st. Wow, we're into February already. Seems hard to believe. Just kind of settling in here. Ran some errands this morning, and so just kind of melting into this moment here. Let's meditate. So just getting yourself nice and comfortable, really relax. And it's good to actually just kind of scan your body and just notice if there's any tension anywhere in your body. Sometimes we have tension we carry in our shoulders or our chest. But anywhere you have tension, bring your attention to. Just notice it. And usually, just by being aware of it and not resisting it, just like the thoughts, we don't fight against it or resist it. We just simply bring awareness to it. And as Eckhart Tolle and probably all the sages have said, is that when you bring awareness to anything, there is healing energy there. So just taking in a nice deep breath. And welcome here. Welcome back home. Welcome back home to that place where you are watching all of life, watching everything. And just allowing yourself to be present in this moment. There's nowhere you need to go. There's nothing you need to do other than just be here now. I've been practicing every time I have any kind of thought, just bringing it back to the present moment, back to who I am. And once you fully connect with the present moment, once you connect with that truth of who you are, it gives you that anchor to return to any time you want. And as much as I've been, last month was 29 years of meditating for me, as long as I've meditated, there was something still that I was trapped in my head with, of still analyzing the thoughts, trying to correct my thinking. And it really was just recently that I came to the awareness, I just don't want to listen to my mind anymore. I don't want to listen to my mind anymore. I don't want to look to my mind for the solutions to happiness, to figuring things out for me that are all of the head and prevent us from being in the heart. And we've talked about that the mind is rooted in duality, so the mind can never know true happiness. Because it judges this is good, this is bad, and as long as we come from a place of duality, we will never find a place of complete peace. Yes, you might find moments of peace, moments of joy, moments of love, but is that all you want? Just fleeting moments here and there? It's not enough for me personally. My heart cries out for more. My heart cries for God. My heart cries for God. And it has for many years now, and I'm so grateful that it cries out to God. And so for me, mediocre, just getting by, you hear people sometimes, typical communication in our personalities of the world is, how are you doing? Oh, I'm getting by. I'm surviving. What a thrilling life you lead. And I probably have said the same thing. I'm not judging it. And yet it's clear to me that is not the space that I want to come from. Many years ago, when I was working at Chevrolet, back in '83 I started, and I was working with a couple guys that were maybe 15 years older than me. And I said, maybe 20, I said, they were so miserable, and I said to them, why do you stay here? And they looked at each other and said, we only have 15 more years till retirement. Inside, my jaw dropped. And they were a beautiful inspiration to me to see how I never want to become lethargic with life, where I'm just getting by or just surviving. And what that means is transcending the mind and all the crazy things that the mind tells us are true. As if the mind knows what the truth is. How does Jesus unconditionally love us? How do we feel infinite compassion from the Buddha? How can we feel the love and the wisdom, the unconditional love from all the sages and from God itself? It is certainly not by being rooted in judgment and opinion and self-righteousness. There's nothing bad or wrong with any of that. It's just the play of life. And sometimes we have to see who we are not to begin to recognize who we are. And sometimes we have to understand the contrast. When we understand fear, we can better understand love. When we understand sadness, we can better understand joy. When we understand chaos and disharmony, we better understand peace itself. And sometimes, if we understand and learn what is not true, truth reveals its beautiful beingness, its beautiful pureness. In this world that is so cloudy in our minds, truth can sometimes feel elusive, particularly in our political world these days. Everybody claiming that they know what the truth is. Everybody saying to the so-called other side, they just don't get it. What do they need to get? Do they need to get the same thing that you get? The same thing that I get? If they only knew what I knew, then they would see things differently. No. They might see things differently, but they might not see the truth either if I'm coming from my ego. What is the ego? The ego is all the beliefs that we have accumulated over the years to say, this is who I am. We take all the experiences of all the mistakes, the misgivings, or even our so-called triumphs, what we believe are triumphs, and it fluffs our ego up. I am somebody. I am a good person. I am a wise person. I'm good. It's just crazy. What can we do but laugh about it, right? Because I've cried far too much about it. I don't want to say that, actually. I haven't cried far too much about it. I'm ready to end the crying. I'm ready to end the suffering, but the crying has been beautiful to release the sadness, the disappointments, and just let them go. Give them back over to God. I love all of you, and I'm grateful that you join me for meditation. And I invite you right now just to literally give all your burdens, all your worries, any stresses, just back to God, back to the universe. God will gladly receive all of them for you. And it is not a burden for God, because God sees it for what it is, that it's just a thought, that it's just a feeling. And it's not who God is, nor is it who you are. But saying that, never mind. I had a thought that took me over there just for a minute, an opinion which I do not want to share. What I do want to share is to come from that truth of who I am to the best of my abilities, to help us to connect and align with God, with life, with love, with peace and joy and truth itself. Every single struggle that we have is all rooted in the head and not the heart. The mind tries to convince us that it knows what happiness is, and if you come to me, then I will give you the answers. You know, it doesn't sound so far off in what people describe as the devil, as the darkness, convincing us that we're not worthy, convincing us that we're not enough, convincing us that we should have done better. And it doesn't matter to me what anyone calls it. Some people call it the ego, some people call it the devil. Is it any different? I don't know. I've had many experiences with dark energies before, practicing exorcisms in energy healing. Is there something real there? Well, it certainly appears real and feels real at the time. And what happened was good when that energy was released. But it was really releasing a belief that darkness exists. Because when we are clear that all these so-called dark thoughts, this negative thinking, is just the veil of illusion that's been pulled over our eyes, when we lift up the veil of truth, what remains is peace and joy and love and God itself, and you as God, you one with God. Life certainly doesn't have to be hard. We make it hard because we listen to the mind. And we've listened and listened and listened, and then we've accumulated all these thoughts and ideas of who we think we are, and much of it is not good. Yes, that to me is what is called hell, where suffering and struggle and strife feel real to us. Feel real to us. But when we lift up the veil of illusion and we recognize that we are not our thoughts, we are not our beliefs and not our feelings, then something beautiful presents itself. And for the first time, perhaps, we awaken. We awaken to have this realization that we are not the mind, we are not the body, we are not our feelings, beliefs, experiences, and our five senses. How could we be those things? How could we be those things? Those things all come and go. Do you come and go? You say, well, my body is here. It doesn't come and go, but it will. Your body and your mind will not stay. They're finite. What is that thing that is eternal, that goes beyond the body and mind? And goes beyond all mental intellect, because you can't carry that with you. When this body leaves, you cannot carry your mind with you. So what is that intelligence that goes beyond the mind, that goes beyond the body? What is that wisdom that goes beyond the physical form and all the beliefs and ideas of who you think you are? All of those things will someday fade away. What is it that never fades away? And are you not conscious right now, conscious and aware of everything I'm saying? If you were not conscious and aware of it, there would be no way for you to even realize that it exists. So there has to be something, some consciousness, some awareness to know that you exist. If you didn't have any consciousness and awareness, this all would be for naught. There would be no experiences. There would be nothing, because there's no awareness of anything that presents itself. But we see that consciousness, awareness, does not require anything physical whatsoever to be aware of your body, to be aware of your thoughts, to be aware of your feelings, to be aware of all your five senses. Yes, there's something physical in your body that helps us to... this is a bit tricky. I'm going to just really surrender this over to God right now. And we'll see if it flows. It's tricky to describe that the hearing will someday fade away with your body. The taste will someday fade away with your body. The touch, all your senses will disappear with your body. And yet the awareness is still here. So we have to look beyond all those things to connect with your true self, the one that is non-physical, formless awareness. Why do I spend so much time on this? Because if you are buying into any sort of belief that is not who you are, it will block you, at least somewhat block you, from being, recognizing, and realizing the very truth that you are. So my offerings to you are simply to lead you back home to the pure, formless, non-physical consciousness, awareness that you are. And it's from this place of consciousness, of awareness, that you can simply observe everything going on in life without any judgment whatsoever. And yes, there's a part of you, the smaller self, that is able to observe whatever thoughts and feelings you have. But that part also is pulled into the drama of that as well. So you have the awareness that somebody just did something rude to you. You're aware of that thought, you're aware of that feeling, but you're still buying into it Yeah, I'm aware of it, but I'm still pissed off right now. What is it that is able to observe that without that needing to be any different than it is? Noticing that the judgment comes up and that you're aware of it, but you're perfectly fine with it. You don't need anything to be anything different about what it is. I just want you to feel this. I don't want you to believe. Don't believe one single thing that I say. It's not enough. I'm just inviting you to let go, just empty out all this craziness that you've carried around. I'm inviting you right now, to let go of all the past. All the shame, the guilt, the blame, all the opinions and beliefs, all the memories, at least for right now. At least for this right now, for this meditation. And if you want to pick it up after the meditation, you're welcome to do so, if you still want to. But right now, just letting go of all of it. Just giving it back over to God. And when I invite you to empty out everything, I truly mean everything. Because the only thing you cannot empty out is yourself, your true self. And the mind might say, I don't know about that. The ego might tell you, I don't want to be nothing. I don't want to be nobody. I want to be somebody. And so it's afraid to completely empty out sometimes. But I have made the choice, to the best of my abilities, to completely empty out, and you see and hear that I am still here. And perhaps you've made the same choice and you're still there. So just letting go of anything. All the old stories and beliefs about who you have thought yourself to be, your personality, your ego, your self-image, and all the beliefs that you have carried around of who you think you are and who you think you should be. We don't want to carry any past conditioning into this present moment. None whatsoever. All these shoulds. I should be this, I should do that, I should say this, I should be more loving or kind or compassionate. These are all, of course, things that we love to experience, but don't put that burden on yourself. To be truly free is to empty it all out and to come from a place of innocence and freedom where you respond with freshness in every single moment. And by the way, that is where true creativity lies as well. Eckhart Tolle has said that an artist can only create from the truth of who they are. They might not know it and notice it, but that's where true creation lies. I'm paraphrasing. But my point is, true creativity goes beyond the intellect, goes beyond the mental intelligence that is limited by logic. But the truth of who we are is not logic. It's not logical to walk on water. It's not logical to raise the dead, heal the blind. It's not logical to be in more than one place at one time. We talk about miracles. What is a miracle? A miracle is something that happens that is beyond what our mind can comprehend and believe. We believe it's an impossible task. But who believes that? Is it you, the truth of who you are? Or is it your mind that has convinced you you're limited? I invite you to go beyond all limitations, to let go of any limiting thoughts, limiting beliefs. Anything that your mind would describe as impossible, I invite you to let that go right now. The mind says, you can't fly. I'll discover that for myself. Thank you very much. You can't raise people from the dead. Who says that? Yogananda has written the teachings. Of course, there's teachings on Jesus. The Apostle Paul in the Bible is the same thing. There have been numerous writings that people have raised people from the dead and performed many miracles along the so-called miracles along the way. So I invite you to just let go of all limited thoughts. That which you describe as impossible, let it go. And what remains when you're completely empty, fully empty, what remains? Ram Dass has described this as pure, loving consciousness. Actually, loving, conscious awareness. I changed the word pure and awareness. But it's when you're being aware. You're being aware. That's all it is. Whatever you want to call freedom, salvation, awakening, it is simply being fully aware of everything. And there's not any judgment in this place. Again, remember, you can be aware of things, but we want to go beyond the one that is aware but still in judgment. It has to be beyond judgment, which is beyond the mind. And sometimes I have these awareness of just how grateful I am for all of you and how much it fills my heart that there are people here that want to learn the truth of who they are, that are ready to step beyond the mind. Patanjali wrote the book, the Yoga Sutras, which some, in fact I would guess, most sages would say that it's the most complete writing of awakening that's ever been written. That was written, I'm not sure, maybe 3,000 years ago. I'm actually not sure about that. Maybe 5,000 years. But the first words that Patanjali writes is, and now yoga. Yoga meaning union with the divine, union with God, union with all of creation. And now yoga. Why does Patanjali write this? When you're done looking to the outer world to make you happy, to look to the outer world for external pleasures, thinking that now I'll be happy. If I get more money, if I travel to more places, if I read more books, if I take more workshops, if I have more sex, if I eat my favorite foods. All these external pleasures are all temporary. When you are done looking for pleasures, looking for peace and joy and love outside of yourself, and now yoga. Are you ready for yoga? Are you ready to not only return, but to stay rooted in the truth of who you are? Any fears or judgments that you have of that, I invite you just to let those go right now. And I invite you just to be conscious and aware of your breath. This beautiful, juicy, sweet breath that takes care of you over and over and over, all by itself. It doesn't need you to do anything. There's no trying, there's no effort, nor do we need you to do anything or no trying or effort with this meditation itself. The only thing you're doing is simply being aware. It's pure beingness. And does pure beingness take any effort? Just to watch, just to listen, just to witness. Does that require any effort? And if your mind says it does require effort, it feels effortful, then I invite you to, I ask you, who is it that is aware of that thought? Well, I'm not sure I like where this is going. Can you simply witness that thought without judgment? Just a witness. Well, I'm feeling frustrated, I'm feeling anxiety, Can you witness that thought? Can you just simply observe it? That's all. That is you. I don't want you to disbelieve me on that. When you're observing the truth of who you are, can this isness, this beingness, this awareness, can it get sick? No, it can't get sick. Does it need anything? It needs nothing whatsoever. Does it have any attachments or desires? No attachments or desires. It doesn't need one single thing, and it doesn't need life to be any different than what it is. Does it carry any anxiety or stress? No, because it doesn't need anything, and it doesn't need anything to be any different than what it is. Do you have to go anywhere to find this truth of who you are? Is there any distance? No, there's nowhere to go. It is you right here, right now. There is no distance, it's you. There's no distance from you. There's no traveling. Can this isness, this beingness, can it ever be diminished? No. Only an idea of who you are can be diminished. Your true self can never ever be diminished. Does it ever fade away? No, it can never fade away. It has this pure you. Was it ever born? Or was it always there? I don't want you to just say this from an intellectual point of view. I don't want to add to your beliefs. I want you to feel this for yourself. I want you to go beyond any concepts. Can this pure beingness, this isness, can it ever die? And I actually don't want to give you any more answers, because either you're feeling it or you don't. If you feel it, the answer will be there. And if you don't, it's okay. It's okay. Just notice that. Just be aware of that. And if you hear the thought, I'm not getting this, who is the one who is aware of that thought that says, I'm not getting it? Is this isness, can it ever fade? Does this isness ever fade away? This core you, does it ever fade away? Can it ever leave you? And let me say this again, does it ever need anything? Does it have any limitations? I don't know if you, whoever is getting this or not getting it, it's all perfect. It's all perfect. If you feel you are not getting it again, I ask you the question, who is it that is aware of that thought, aware of that belief? Who is it that's saying, I'm not getting it? Are you the I? I'm angry. Are you that? Are you the I that says, I'm angry? Are you the I that says, I need to do something fun right now? We use the I word all the time. If you listen to people, I am this or I am that. I'm angry, I'm frustrated, we give our emotions. Or I think we should do this, or I think we should do that. Or we might describe, I am this, I am, could be even I am kind, I am wise. These are all still stories. We have to move beyond the stories so that the only thing that's left is just I am. Just I am, meaning that I am, meaning just beingness. When we say I am, there's just being. That's all. Just being. So when you say, I don't get it, I ask you who the I is. And wherever you're at is perfect. And now just coming back to being aware of your breath. And there may be, your mind may have gotten busy on this, or you may be completely at peace where you're able to simply watch it all. Wherever you're at is perfect. And if anything pops up from you, anxieties or any of this, feel free to contact me. I don't necessarily want to leave you in a space of anxiety and stress. With that said, I don't mind leaving you confused, because sometimes confusion comes before the truth. If you're so bent on this is who you are, you're so steeped in this false belief, then perhaps one of the best things that can happen to you is to get confused, to be confused. Not to try to get confused, but to be in the confusion. That means that there's something breaking away, something that's letting go of the hold on you that is so steeped into saying, this is who I am. And usually we describe that, I am, like I am a meditation teacher, I'm a speaker, I'm a man, I am 61 years old, and we have all these descriptions of who we think we are. Your true self is beyond any labels, any descriptions. You are the one aware of the labels, aware of the descriptions, aware of the thoughts, all of it. And again, just coming back to being aware of your breath. And most likely thoughts will come in. Perfect. Perfect. We don't need to fight the thoughts. We don't need to try to get rid of them. We don't need to try to still our mind. Every time a thought comes in, you don't have to pay any attention to it whatsoever, other than just noticing it. Oh, there's a thought. Ooh, that person, that part of me, that mind, that ego seems very angry. Thanks for sharing. Come back to the present moment. Come back to being aware of the breath. Come back home to who you are, which is the pure I amness, the pure beingness, the pure conscious awareness that is beyond anything physical. And so just practicing being aware of the breath right now. And if your mind is drifted, just coming back to being aware of your breath. And again, if your mind is drifted, just coming back to the present moment, just coming back home to who you are, the one who is aware of the thought, aware of the breath, aware of my voice, aware of the sounds, aware of your body. You are the formless conscious awareness. And now just practicing awareness with your breath. just coming back to the present moment, coming back to being aware of your breath. To begin to bring this meditation to completion. If you'd like to continue meditating, please either mute or turn your device off. And thank you so much for joining me. And for those of you who are ready to finish, just taking in a nice deep breath. And just bringing that energy back into the body, this beautiful form that gets you around in this life. And maybe moving it, stretching a little. And taking your time, and whenever you're ready, opening your eyes. And let's see here. We're going to go over to YouTube first today. Let's just see who's on YouTube. If anybody wants to say hi. And let's see, and I don't see anything yet there. Let's see, Sandy, I'm guessing it's you. We'll sneak over to Facebook right now, and you can post something on there, Sandy, if you want, or whoever's out, if you want to. And somebody else might be able wants to say hi. And let's see, where's my... you're welcome, Michelle. Namaste. I want to ask you, and let's see, Sandy, and you said beautiful. So for both you and Sandy, Michelle, if you guys, did you get the thing when we were connecting with your core self and just unable to answer, not from a place of concept or belief, but to answer from the truth of who you are when I was asking the questions? That's what I would like to know, if you're willing to share that. And I'm going to just hang out just for a moment here. And it's not necessary to share, of course, but you're welcome to. So, okay, and you did the I love you sign from you, Michelle, so I'm guessing everything is good. So, okay, thank you for that. So I'm not sure, sometimes I don't want to dig holes of what I present. I want it to be meaningful, impactful, and I don't want it to create problems. So in any case, so okay, all right, thanks you guys. Have a beautiful day, and maybe I'll see you tomorrow morning. Okay, all right. Oh no, yes, what is today? Monday, yeah, so tomorrow morning at 10. Okay, all right, love you guys. All right, bye-bye. And Sandy, you said it made perfect sense to me. Okay, wonderful. Thanks for sharing that. Okay, you guys have a beautiful day.